Hello, welcome to Generation Gap. I'm your host, Taylor J. In this week's episode, we will be focusing on IUPatties. To begin our show, I'd like to cut to our field reporter, Allison.
Hi guys, Allison Schumacher here with your field report. We are talking about IUPatties today, so let's see what people have to say. Last year we actually had, I think it was over 100 arrests. So this year they brought in horses, a lot more police. Do you think that helped?
It may have caused it, like if the students knew that was coming. We all pretty much knew, like we were warned that we're gonna have the police. They were getting ready and stuff. So I think maybe some people were deterred by that. But honestly, if you're gonna party, it's not really gonna bother you anyway because, I mean, if you're gonna party, like you're gonna party. Yeah. So I think maybe some people it deterred. I think it made it a little safer. I think people still partied and still did what they wanted to do, but I think it may have been a little bit safer just because there were some people, some extra security force around just to observe, and just by making observations we can prevent a lot of unnecessary accidents and things. So I don't feel that they pushed so hard that students weren't allowed to have fun, but at the same time, like
Made
they
it
still
safer kind of thing. Definitely. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Problem.
Yeah, back to you, Taylor.
Now, at this time, I would like to have my panel introduce themselves, starting from my left to right.
Hello, I'm Cody Crawford. I'm a sophomore safety science major here at IUP, and I'm from Newcastle, Pennsylvania.
My name is Dr. Luis Almeida. I'm an associate professor of communications media at IUP.
My name is Mary Romeo. I'm a sophomore here at IUP, Communications Media, and I'm from York, Pennsylvania.
Okay, so let's get right into it. My first question is, what do you think about St. Patrick's Day as a whole?
It's the day everyone wears green, and some guy in Ireland chases snakes out. That's about St. Patrick being that guy, and that's about the extent of my knowledge on it.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It's I would think of it as like a drinking holiday. People like to, celebrate, but especially college students.
Yeah, there is no question that there is a little bit of that. There is St. Patrick's Day, it's a day of celebration. It's not a new thing. I mean, when I was in college, it was the same thing. So, it didn't change even a little bit. So it's exactly what it is. What we think it is actually what it is.
My next question is, has the dynamic of the celebrations changed over the past decade?
A little bit. I mean, but then, as you just said, it's been the same. So I think that like students and pretty much everybody like to think of the holiday and celebrate it as they can. And I mean, it might have changed a little bit, but I mean, it's still pretty much the same holiday.
Yeah, the only difference that now, maybe like a decade before, we didn't have the explosion of social media, which means that now some of that celebration, right, it becomes so vivid in the eyes of the audience, because now say, man, folks are having fun and stuff, right? But then you have like a cell phone. You're able to capture that moment, and then all of a sudden, like the whole community and beyond have that, I guess that vision of what St. Patrick's Day actually is, and can be quite challenging. So I think that's one of the differences that we have today that we didn't have at the time that I was in school. I don't know what you think about that.
Definitely. Social media definitely can blow things up, and things go viral, as they say, and a lot more people, not even in our community, all over the world, can see what IUPatties is.
Are there ways for college students to be more responsible when they celebrate holidays?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'd say it's right after the end of winter, all the snow's melting, everyone's been cramped up in their house for weeks and weeks and weeks, and finally you can go outside when it's at least kind of warm and have some fun.
Yeah, and I definitely think that that's what students want, is to like go outside and like be outside, not cramped up in their house, because finally like there's more daylight, we can all celebrate and have fun. And I mean, I definitely think that they use it as an excuse, but I mean, it's still fun as long as people are being respectful and responsible. And
yeah, it was fun in the past, it is fun in the present, and probably going to be fun in the future. I mean, often folks tend to forget, I guess, that part of being in college is also to have fun. So we, from a professor's perspective, we want to see folks coming to class and absolutely doing the work and being involved in classroom activities, but also there is the component of student life that goes beyond the classroom, right? St. Patty's Day, it's kind of a fun day, as we all know, in all generations, that brings that element of celebration. And in some ways, I don't think that what's happening today is necessarily different than what happened when I was in college either. Same idea of coming back, to look at some of I guess the new season, right? So yeah, I mean, it is, in my opinion, like an excuse to party.
Yeah, because it's the beginning of the season and they want to go outside, have fun.
There's nothing abnormal.
Yeah.
That I've seen.
Would you say that college students in particular use St. Patrick's Day as an excuse to party?
I mean, definitely. Like, you can still have fun by being responsible and respectful to like everybody around you and to like people's property and stuff. I mean, plus I know that IUP set up some spring fever alternative events, and like, I mean, that was an option for students to go to and still have fun at. So I think that's pretty important, and that's a big aspect to like celebrating too. I mean.
Yeah, what I like about what you said is that you're actually giving like an example of say, hey man, we're gonna have some fun in the process, but don't destroy property. I mean, that becomes like a criminal offense, right?
Yeah.
So I think that even in this year's IUP parties, what happened is that the IUPatties that I guess there were folks just just in public, going to the bathroom in public or something like this, right? I heard something like that. Man, just don't do that. I mean, it's not nice, number one.
There really are. It's just like some simple things that you can avoid to like still have a fun time but not get a bad reputation over.
Even if it's just drinking more responsibly, if you're gonna go that route, don't be stupid with your decisions you're gonna make if you are gonna have alcohol.
Yeah, that is absolutely right. And then also folks, I think that try to, I mean, I don't know if folks are even seeing that now with a cell phone, folks are acting like, irresponsibly. You can actually capture their life. And once something's actually posted online, it's technically there forever. Mm-hmm. And folks are often not paying attention to that and say, well, now it's become so widespread, some of those actions. You need to be careful there, man.
Could being more responsible be beneficial to the community as well as the students?
Oh, definitely. I think that a big relationship is the Indiana students and the community, and in order to like have that bond, we have to respect each other and respect people's property and everything. So have a fun time, but be responsible.
I'm sorry to cut you guys off, but we have to take a quick break. We'll pick right back up at this question when we get back.
Hi, before we go to commercial, let me ask you all a question. What three colors make up the Irish flag? Is it A, red, blue, and yellow, B, orange, white, and pink, C, green, white, and orange, or is it D, red, white, and green? The answer when we come back.
Cut. Flawless.
All right.
It's hard to explain. It just became home. There are hundreds of majors and programs, bachelor's degrees to PhDs, small classes and faculty that really get to know you. Amazing internships and everywhere, programs that help to find a job that is right for you. It's what IUP is about, a commitment to your success. See it for yourself. Visit us, Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Find your success.
Hi, and welcome back to Generation Gap. Now, before we went to break, I asked you a question. What three colors make up the Irish flag? Is it A, red, blue, and yellow, or is it B, orange, white, and pink? How about C, green, white, and orange? Maybe it might be D, red, white, and green. Well, the answer is C, green, white, and orange. Now back to you, Taylor.
Welcome back to Generation Gap. Before we jump back into the panel, let's cut to Allison to see about the field report.
So, from living here, was the noise contained more from partying, stuff like that? Did you feel?
I could hear the noise from my house a mile away.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah. So, But at night it really wasn't that noisy. Just in the afternoon when it was nice and sunny out and everybody was out partying.
Yeah,
And
definitely. Well, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you. Back to you, Taylor.
All right, thanks, Allison. Now let's cut back to our panel. My next question is, could more campus-based activities lead to more responsible ways to celebrate IUPatties?
I mean, yeah, definitely. Like, if you have activities outside of partying, I mean, people can definitely get involved with that. I mean, there was like laser tag and like a basketball tournament, and those are really fun things that I would even consider like going to. So, I mean, I think that it creates like a opportunity for people to still have fun.
There is just one difference. It's much more fun. Most folks actually have more fun. And as much as we don't want to believe this, right? We want to try to encourage, I guess, more responsible, partying, if you wish. But when it comes to St. Patty's Day, folks just would, I think, maybe I'm wrong about this, but it seems to me that folks are going to choose to actually go out and sometimes even have fun a little more irresponsibly than going to an event on campus that we would like to believe, that will be kind of more responsible. I would like to see that, but in reality,
yeah, no, that is true. But there were 1,500 students that attended the Spring Fever events.
Oh, well, there you go. That's actually beginning then. That's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, I was really surprised when I heard that too. Yeah. But so people have alternative plans in mind, and although, I mean, the 1,500 people out of the 15,000 that go here, obviously that's a little like majority, but still, they chose to do their own thing and have fun.
If you want it to be more successful, you got to get more people to do it. If people see all these people outside partying and having fun, they want to go join that. That's the easiest route. If you ask me, you need to get more people involved with those campus-provided activities for it to be more successful, I think.
Yeah, in fact, before coming to IUP, I was actually in a small school, in a small liberal arts institution, where a lot of the extracurricular activities were actually created to encourage that responsible celebration of college life. That maybe something. I think that maybe you have, maybe there is a way to encourage that, I guess. I still am a little skeptical about this whole thing, but I'm not saying it can't work.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely are a majority of students that would rather go out and party, but there are, even for homecoming, there was alternative events too, so.
Good.
My next question is, could more campus-based activities lead to more responsible ways to celebrate IUPatties?
It's very important, I think. Even negative impacts on the university. Last year, that when we were on 7th Street, that viral video that went around, I actually saw a t-shirt that said, "Let's riot." Now, that's encouraging. That's from last year, encouraging the new students to come in and be irresponsible and destructive, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I think that you need to set a good example for people to come here. Yeah, we want to have fun and we want to have a good time, but we don't want to jump on people's cars and have riots in the middle of the street. I don't think that's what IUP is about, and I think that it's important for us to shed that image that we don't have a bad reputation and that we are good people and we can party responsibly.
Yeah, I certainly agree with all of these. I can't disagree. I think this is just... Now, when we think about partying, I actually don't think about IUP. I think about West Virginia University, right? And we think about, that's... So, again, I guess it would be so nice for us to be able to send that message to maybe prospective students that say, come to IUP, you're going to get a good education. Of course, you're going to have some fun process and all these things. But sure, there are ways that we can actually do that and then try to accomplish this in a more responsible way.
It makes it really difficult, too, because IUPatties attracts so many students from other schools as well. And that's not our responsibility, but it becomes ours when they come to our community, and that's what makes it more difficult, I think.
And when they create a mess and a reputation for us, they leave, and we're the ones who have to deal with it. And I think that it's really important that if you have friends come and guests, whatever, that they are responsible and that they respect people, because when they leave, we have to deal with the cleanup.
Do you think it's the students' responsibility to set standards for responsible, respectful behaviors during IUPatties?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
it's important, but I also think that IUP does a lot of good for the community as well. And yeah, I mean, the older residents, they probably don't like the partying all that much, but every other day of the year, you see the day after the party, the Greek life, they clean up the streets, and those pictures are amazing of all the trash they pick up and all the good they do for the community.
Yeah, I really think that I mean, yeah, we do party and we're disruptive and stuff, but then the next day you see us picking up and cleaning up the streets. So I think that we might be disruptive to the community members, but then again, within 24 hours we're helping clean up. So, I mean, we pretty much make this town
And this
function.
is our community too.
So,
You know?
Yeah, that is what is sad, because there is an economic component to even to the IUPatties. I mean, there are folks in town who own businesses who actually can benefit from it. As long as we encourage folks to really understand the implications of maybe some of the bad decisions that can come out of this. College students are always going to be college students. They were college students in the 80s, in the 90s, the year 2000s, and they're the same population in the year 2015.
I am so sorry to interrupt, but we have to take another quick break. Stay tuned, everybody.
Hey everyone, welcome to Ruffle My Feathers. I'm your host, Sam Owak. Maurice couldn't be here today because he had some prior engagements, but it's okay because I'll really tell you what ruffles my feathers. So, let's get started. Do you know what ruffles my feathers? How every St. Patrick's Day, I get pinched if I'm not wearing green. It really just doesn't make any sense to me, because it hurts a lot. You know, it's supposed to represent getting bit by a snake, like all those snakes that St. Patrick chased out of Ireland. Do you really think he chased out 100 snakes? No. He didn't. It was probably more like 2, and he probably found them in his garden, picked them up, and threw them across the pond into the UK. Okay, so, and also, why is it called St. Patty's Day? He isn't a girl and you aren't flipping burgers. I mean, really. I also love how it's become a tradition in the United States to get really intoxicated on this day, but the holiday isn't even ours. It's like Cinco de Mayo. We literally celebrate these holidays more than the people who actually are supposed to. Well, that's what really ruffles my feathers today. Now back to you, Taylor.
Welcome back, everyone. First, let's go to Allison with another field report.
Do you think that IUPatties affects IUP's reputation?
No.
No?
No, because there are bigger schools that have worse situations than what we had last year, and they're still, people still, I went to this
They'll always
school.
go there, yeah.
Yeah, so it really does not matter, to be honest. I just find it interesting that it's on the news and everything about what happened last year. No one cares.
Yeah, every school's a party school, basically. So.
Basically.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.
You too.
Back to you, Taylor.
Thanks, Allison. Let's jump right back into the panel's opinion. Thanks, Allison. Let's jump right back into the panel's opinion. My next question is, how could outrageous partying affect the school's reputation, even though they are not happening on campus?
Yeah, what I think we need to also, and I agree with you, that we need to look at IUPatties, it's as a festival, as a holiday, almost like a holiday, right? I mean, it's, that celebrates partying, but then the other side of the fence, one of the things that we try to avoid is not to have, folks acting not responsibly, right? So that, we don't get a bad reputation. That those things are so important to something to do. But there is also an economic component to this, right? So whenever folks come to Indiana County, here to IUP, folks are actually going to places in town and buying some of our products and advancing our local economy. And I don't think that is necessarily different to what's happening today, right, than what actually happened in the 80s or even the 70s or the 90s, the year 2000s. College students are college students, man. It won't be different.
Yeah, definitely. You're finally out of the house, no parents to tell you what to do. The only people that really can is the police, but you don't want to have a run-in with them.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, no, but while we were saying that pretty much Indiana students make this town function, And while I agree that we should be respectful of them because they live here, they have kids here, they have homes here, we don't want to like disrupt any of that. But I think that they have to keep in mind that like they live in a college town. We pretty much make Indiana strive, and I don't want to say that they should just let it happen, but I think that they should know what to expect.
This is our community too, I agree, yeah.
Is it important to be respectful to the older community of Indiana during these celebrations?
Yeah, what I think we need to also, and I agree with you, that we need to look at IUPatties, you know, it's as a festival, as a holiday, almost like a holiday, right? I mean, it's, that celebrates partying, but then the other side of the fence of them, I mean, one of the things that we try to avoid is not to have, you know, folks acting not responsibly, right? So that, you know, we don't get a bad reputation. That those things are so important to something to do. But there is also an economic component to this, right? So whenever folks come to Indiana County, here to IUP, folks are actually going to places in town and buying some of our products and advancing our local economy. And I don't think that is necessarily different to what's happening today, right, than what actually happened in the 80s or even the 70s or the 90s, the year 2000s. You know, college students are college students, man. It won't be different.
Yeah, definitely. It's you're finally out of the house. No parents to tell you what to do. The only people that really can is the police, but you don't want to have a run-in with them.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, no. But while we were saying that, like, pretty much Indiana students make this town function, and while I agree that we should be respectful of them because they live here, they have kids here, they have homes here, we don't want to like disrupt any of that. But I think that they have to keep in mind that like they live in a college town. We pretty much make Indiana strive, and I don't want to say that they should just let it happen, but I think that they should know what to expect.
This is our community too, I agree, yeah.
Yeah.
My next question is, how could outrageous partying affect the school's reputation, even though they are not happening on campus?
Well, I mean, last year, obviously, we had a YouTube video that got over like 140,000 views, and I just think it's really not a good thing when you're in a job interview 5 years from now and someone pulls that up and says, "Oh, you went to IUP? Well, I see there were riots on South 7th Street." So I just think it's really important that, like, yeah, you have fun, but you uphold, you know, a good standing.
Yeah, in fact, now this little thing here, right, called the smartphone, can take videos, and matter of fact, very good videos, but it can also take photographs. So then now all of a sudden we have all this media, right? And then it can really hunt you in the future. I mean, whenever we actually take some of those photographs and videos and they're actually online, man, it can really have almost like a public relations nightmare for any university, because now how do you actually clean your brand? So there is a little bit of that, right? So, I mean, it's one of the things that we try to talk, in fact, here at IUP in the communications media department, we have a class, a new class, in fact, called New Media Campaigns, that we talk about these things. So see how we can actually, or which ways that we can actually produce media campaigns that are responsible, and how do we cover them. So this is one of those, I had to be careful. I think higher education administrations should understand that. And they do, not say that they don't, but maybe get to a new level of understanding of the implications of technology.
And on the other side of that, I mean, you can use a cell phone to post pictures of riots on South 7th Street, but you can also use your phone to post pictures of the 530 students of Greek life that helped clean up the streets. So, I mean, there really is like two different sides of that, and I can definitely see both.
Just, it's hard because the negative videos that go online, those are the ones that get the attention. The one last year that got attention from Pittsburgh News and news all over, and it's hard to clean that blemish on the university's name, if you ask me.
Now, from a parent's perspective, right, and then I think that's what the university, from a staff standpoint, well, that can become problematic because part of our operation relies on the brand that we have, right, and the type of trust that we actually send, that message we send to parents. And whenever we get into situations where, man, there is chaos and it is associated with an institution, we can actually have some serious issues for the brand of the university, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely.
How can we make it so the entire IUP student body is not held responsible for the negative actions of the few overzealous partygoers?
Well, there is a police blotter in the pen, so people who behave responsibly will get their name out there, and I mean, they'll be the ones to blame technically. I mean, I think that like as a whole, IUP gets blamed for the bad reputation, but individually, you can pick out, I mean, who did what. I just think that like not everybody should be shamed for what happened last year. And in consideration of what happened this year, I mean, we didn't really have any problems or issues, so I think that, I mean, I shouldn't say no, yeah. There were definitely problems, but in comparison to last year's events, like, we have definitely, gotten a better reputation from that. And I think that people finally, like, put their foot down and stepped up.
We got better prepared for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that was another thing, I saw way more police officers, and I think that made the students respect them, and the police officers respect us in turn.
Sure, and then this is some kudos a lot of kudos for the administration, for the administrators at IUP to have planned that, and the folks here in Indiana County to protect the brand of the town and the brand of the university. And overall, I do agree with you.
Yeah.
It's a little better than last year.
And, even though there were like a bunch of cops out on horses and everything, I really think that they were just there to make us safe. I mean, a lot of the
Just
times,
a presence, yeah.
Police officers have like a misconstrued idea that they're out to get students. And this year I did not get that at all. They were really nice, and they were just there to keep an eye on us and make sure that everyone was safe.
Thank you guys for your opinion. We have to take another break. Don't go anywhere.
Hi guys, before we go to break, I have another question for you. True or false? St. Patrick wasn't really a saint. The answer when we come back. Welcome back, fellow Gen Gappers. Now, before we went to break, I asked you a question. True or false? St. Patrick wasn't really a saint. The answer is false. He was a Catholic saint and is the patron saint of Ireland. Now back to you, Taylor.
Let's jump right back into the panel's opinion. This episode, we focused on IUPatties. We've come to the end of the show, so at this time, I would like to ask our panel some last questions. Is there anything in particular that we touched on throughout the show that stood out to you that you would like to touch on again?
Just that I don't think that it's very fair for the IUP students to be held responsible for IUPatties year after year when you have all these students from all these other schools, and even if they don't go to school at all, that come here and party. And it makes it even more difficult because state patties up there, what's the word I'm looking for? How they prepared for their celebrations, and I think it makes it's difficult that we have to bear that burden of other students that don't even go here.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that pretty much they come up here, they act like jerks sometimes, and then leave us with the mess.
Well, students are always going to be students. College students are always going to be college students. So whenever somebody is between the ages of 18 to 22, right, we should be expecting behave in a particular manner, which is often the case, right? So I think that we're not going to see, I'm not seeing, let's put it that way, a distinction between folks who study in the 80s, the 90s, the year 2000 and 2015. Students are always going to be students.
Yeah, I don't think it will change either.
What advice would you give to an upperclassman on the example they should be giving the students getting ready to come into college when it comes to these kinds of celebrations?
I would just say that, you really need to watch what you do, watch what you say, watch what you post, and just be respectful to one another and to your community, to your college, to everybody that goes there. Although it's not fair that we have to hold that reputation, that's just the way it is, and you kind of have to set a good example no matter what.
What advice would you give to the residents of Indiana on how to deal with the students' celebrations of IUPatties?
I would probably tell them to go to the store and get wood blocks and just block up their windows. No, I'm kidding. But it's one weekend, maybe two, that we go out and we're outside having fun. And I really think that just, let us have our fun and we'll pick up after.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, maybe let's not forget that, we were also young before. So then, try to put yourself in the shoes of a college student and try to not kid yourself, right? That, when I was 18, that's how things were for me. So then now maybe that's what's going to happen like for the kids who come here to IUP and stuff.
Well, we have come to the end of our show. I would like to thank our wonderful panel for coming in and discussing this matter. Join us next time on Generation Gap. Thanks for watching.